Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm back at the cabin today. I was here last weekend and I was hoping to have a nice weekend this weekend, and Anne was going to come with me and we were going to finish off the walls. It's been raining all week long. It was actually raining this morning. The rain stopped about an hour before I headed out here. Now, I don't want to open up the roof in case it rains again. It's not supposed to, but in case it rains again, I'd rather not. And once again, Anne's not here to help me today, so I can't climb on anything. Now, I thought about it this week and I thought, well, it does happen once in a while where Anne is busy and can't come out. I can't stand on a stump and open the roof when she's not here because I don't want to risk the falling. But if I build a ladder, then I'd be a whole lot safer. So that's what I'm here for today. Let's gather up our tools and get ready. We're going to build a ladder. First thing we're going to need is our two runners. I'm thinking if I go with a 6-foot ladder, I'll be able to get high enough to do what I need. So let me cut a couple of good 6-foot pieces. I still have some skinned logs from what Anne had skinned, so that's what I'm going to use. So there's one. So now we have our two 6-foot poles. Next, we need our runners. And for those, I figure if I go 20 inches, that'll give me enough room to tie on either end and give me a wide enough step, should be around the 14-inch mark, so that I've got room to stand on the ladder and work. So here's my 20 inches. And I'm going to need 5 of those. Starting to think it might be time for a new blade. I've only been running this one for 2 years. So inside the sheath, there is a back pocket with room for another blade. This is an all-purpose blade. This one was the Sydney aggressive blade for dry hardwood, and it lasted 2 years. And I wasn't using it on dry hardwood, but I wanted to see how it would work out. Now, you carefully pop these little C-clips out. There's one end off. There's the other end off. Apparently the new blade comes with new clips. So that one's clipped in. Take the pin. That one's locked in. Blade is in there nice and tight. Perfect. Now I'm going to take the old blade and slide it back into the cardboard tube. Stick it back in the sheath so that I can get rid of it when I get home. On the back of the sheath, there's an extra pocket where I happen to have extra clips and pins. And apparently the baggie I put them in broke. I'm still going to put them in there. I'm going to add the other two pins because safety in numbers. If I happen to lose some, I've got them. Now let's go see how this thing cuts. So 2 years, one blade. I'm not going to complain about that. Now we've got the all-purpose blade. Let's see, 1, how well it's going to cut. 2, how long it's going to last. Big difference. And the best part, being a 24-inch saw, I can just go to any hardware store and grab a new blade and stick it in the pouch. And I've got a spare blade whenever I need it. Okay, so now we have our 5 rungs. So I'm going to go in about 3 inches. And just cut a little notch there. In about 3 inches. Cut a little notch. Move over to my splitting log. Take my knife and take just a little bite out of this. And I'll do the same for all 5 of these. Take just a little more off of that one. I have all 5 of my rungs notched at each end. So what I want to do now is take my saw and I'm going to cut just a small X pattern. At each end. I'm going to take my knife and widen it up just a little. And the only reason I'm doing this is so that when I tie my rungs on, there's a small groove there that my paracord is going to bite into, and that'll stop the rung from sliding side to side. Doesn't have to be a big notch, as long as it's notched a little. I mean, I could probably baton it with the knife, but while I've got the saw out, may as well use it. Yeah, that works way better. The saw blade makes a fine cut, and I just use the knife to widen it up just a little bit, just enough to give the paracord something to bite into. The water's boiling, so I'll pull it out of here, rest it up on this rock. Because I'm here by myself, I just dropped in 2 bags of chai tea, and I'll just make a whole pot of tea, and I'll have plenty of drink this afternoon. So the tea has been steeping long enough now, and of course, now that I'm trying to film, the smoke is coming right in my face. I'm blind. Oh, yeah, that's good. Very, very hot, but good. Now let that sit for a sec. And get back to work. So now the rungs are all made up. Time to work on our legs. I've already predetermined that this is the bottom. Now, a lot of guys I've seen out there will make a bushcraft ladder and they'll slap their legs on wherever, tie them on and call it good. Or they'll notch and put the legs in, but they put them in at random intervals. They don't bother measuring, they just slap them in. That is a good way to fall off a ladder. I'm building a ladder so that I can work safely, not so that it will just hold my weight. One of the videos I saw, the ladder was built and they had a runner about 10 inches off the ground. The next one was at about 18 inches. The next one was at about 12 inches. The next one was at about 13 inches. It's always a different interval. You never know where to put your foot when you're coming back down and you can't see what you're doing. So what I want to do is, before I put my runners on, I'm going to make a saw cut every 12 inches. And that is going to be the top of every step. So my steps are all going to be 12 inches apart. So now I take the other runner and do the same thing. So now what I've done, I've taken each runner. This is 1, L for left. I did the same thing with each other runner, 1, 2, 3, up to 5. I've taken each post and I put left on this left post and I put an R on the right post. So now I can leave the left post on the sawhorse, and using 1 left, I can mark where I have to cut. Need a little more charcoal. Put my stick in the fire, let it burn for a second. And now I make a few cuts. So here's my mark. There was my first cut. So now I just make a few extras. Just to make it easier for my knife. Knife in, pop them out. Ah, way better. So the left log is done. Now I'm setting up to do the right. But first, key break. Oh yeah, that definitely hits the spot. Time to char the pencil so I can mark that next log. So here's the top of our runners, right and left. I know they look opposite, but they're marked to be seen from the bottom up, and this is the top. So we have right and left, and all of our rungs are marked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I kept them in order just so that it would be less confusing. So left to the left, right to the right, now let me go get my mallet. I forgot to bring that. Okay. Left, right, some of these are very snug, some of them not so much, but once I tie it all together, that'll make a big difference. A lot of guys I've seen tend to super lash these. Because I've put these grooves in, And because they're sitting inside a notch, I think I can get away with the Canadian jam knot, or as I like to call it, the Andy jam, because I've tied so many of these. Tied a simple knot, tie another knot, leave it open, put the running end through in the same direction that my tail is coming out, and then I simply ratchet back and forth, and now you can see the line is in the groove. So now I can really tighten it up, and that is not gonna go too far. Now, I did put an X pattern. It is there for a reason. I'm not relying on only one. I wouldn't be that silly. I'm going to tie one this way and one this way. And with 2 knots, that's not going anywhere. Tie an extra knot, and I wrap it behind the first knot. And that way I know there's no way that that stopper knot's going to come through. Another great thing about a project like this, I have a whole bunch of short pieces left over from when I was tying the cabin. They're too short to tie the logs, but they're long enough to tie the ladder. Last knot's been tied. Seems very sturdy. So now all that's left to do is go and test it out. So now we've got it leaned on the cabin. Now, I'm 6 feet tall. I'm 200 pounds. Let's see if this will hold me. So far, so good. I do believe that this is going to be fantastic. So now I've backed up the camera so you can see step 3, step 4. This is going to be terrific. I am going to be definitely stashing this here somewhere and leaving it here. Once the cabin is done, I still may find uses for it. That's perfect. Now, something else I wanted to test out while I'm here. I was talking to my brother recently, and he had my dad's old draw knife. So he sharpened it up, and he let me borrow it in the hopes that it'll make things a little easier for Anne when she's stripping the logs. Instead of using her knife and her hatchet, she can use this. It'll give her a better two-handed grip to slide down the log. Hopefully it'll be a lot more comfortable for her. Now, he didn't have a sheath for it, but I had a little bit of fake leather at home and an old canvas drop cloth. So I cut a piece of the leather I sewed in a little bit of the canvas drop cloth and added a couple of snaps. That way, when we put it in our pack to bring it out here, we're not going to be cutting up everything else, the rest of our gear that it's in the bag. Now, I'm going to test this out. I'm not going to do the entire log. I just want to do a section of it to see how well it works. Because this is Anne's favorite job, so I don't want to do too much of it. Unless she is unable and gives me the okay. We share a lot of the work around here. She likes to strip the logs, so I go cut the logs, she strips them, I tie them onto the cabin. She helps collect the moss. I do my share, she does her share. Works fantastic. So let's go test this thing out. Oh, I think she's going to enjoy that. So now, we have a working ladder. We have a working draw knife, which is going to be wonderful. I think Anne's really going to like this. And now it's not going to cut up everything in my pack. So that's going to be it for today. I want to thank you all for joining me. It's turning out to be a beautiful afternoon. It's too bad I got to head home already. But we now have the working ladder. Now I know the draw knife is going to work fantastic. I really think Anne's going to like it. With any luck, next weekend is better weather and we'll be able to come out and focus on finishing those two walls. Once those two walls are up, then I can start thinking about how I'm going to close off the front. So if you liked what you saw, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see more of it, hit the subscribe button. And if you're going to do that, you may as well hit the notification bell. It'll let you know whenever I put out a new video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.